providation of additional information related to the City Council Ice Arena and direction to staff as deemed appropriate.
I have a request.
Yes.
May I take a quick straw poll and see if you all would be amenable to letting the kids go first? It's a school night. I see a lot of kids in the audience. Do we have anybody who would be really upset if we allowed the children to speak before the adults speak when it's their time to speak?
After the staff report.
There is only one adult, or possibly two, I'm not sure. Adult I would like to speak before the children, and just recognizing a celebrity, two celebrities in our house, Darrell Evans. Yeah, former Darrell. Just a moment, Darrell. I just want to finish. 1980s drafted by the Kings, and for those of you old enough to remember, scored that miracle on Manchester in 1982 against the heavily favoured. Well, let me finish it. The heavily favoured Edmonton Oilers, led by Wayne Gretzky. They went down 5-0. Went into overtime, and he scored the winning goal in overtime. It was amazing.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor and members of council, first of all, I appreciate the opportunity to be able to come in and speak on behalf of the Los Angeles Kings and the importance of what the Culver City Ice Rink has meant not only to myself but our organization. 34 years ago, I first came to California and became a member of the community here. Culver City was the first ice rink that I went to. It is a huge part of not only the community but what exists here in Los Angeles and in Southern California. I think if you look at with the people that are behind me, the strength, the fraternity of ice skaters and hockey players, I think you'll see it's a strong bond out there, and it's something that we take great pride in, regardless of whether we're in a rink here in Southern California or anywhere across the world. There's a mutual ground between all these people. And looking at the different generations that are here today, the young kids, the adults, the seniors here, everybody can participate in this, and it's been a big part of the community. I think when you look at what's happened here in the last 7-8 years, Southern California has captured a couple of Stanley Cup championships. That's the most coveted trophy in the game of hockey. Los Angeles Kings doing it most recently in 2012. The Anaheim Ducks doing that 5 years prior to that, and we take great pride in that, and it wouldn't have happened without the Culver City Ice Rink. I think when you look at the first days in coming out here, ice was very limited in these areas, so the opportunity to be able to get on the ice was really a privilege, and I think the strength of these organizations, they've done a great job, in particular the Kings that have more history here, coming here in 1967, have really helped develop the game, and it wouldn't be possible without having the rink. Another couple of programs that I've been involved in at the Culver City Ice Rink is coaching UCLA Bruins University hockey team, as well as USC was here as well. So I think when you look at it, it's touched so many different things in so many different ways. But in order for this to move forward and to look at things, in order to conserve a future and a present, we've got to preserve a past. There's great history at the Culver City Ice Rink in so many different fashions out there. We're sitting here right now, we're right in the prime of winter sports here with the Olympics going on. The skaters that are there, a lot of them are product of what happened here at Culver City. The ice hockey players, even though there's not players that directly came from that rink right now, it's generations where it was passed to. Some of the kids that I have worked with now have become members of the National Hockey League. The young kids that are in here now, they're all offspring of their parents. Some of their parents were teachers here. Some of their parents were skaters, hockey players. They are now taking and sharing the history of this great facility with the community and broadening it out, making it greater. So all I ask is that you guys really consider what's going on. The growth of our sport, ice hockey, and also in figure skating, it's endless. And I think that's, we have to look at the big picture. I think there's so many people that we can touch because of this. And because it's an Olympic year, we always see great growth. And not to have this facility when our game, I know the game of ice hockey here is thriving in this area right now, to have an ice rink taken away from us would be criminal. So I'd like to see every consideration be put forward. Again, I'm one of the people that have taken great pride in helping develop this game from a grassroots sport. I've taken and I put in a lot of time, not only in the ice rink that I'm in right now, but growing it all over through Southern California. So again, I just would again ask for you to help preserve our history, help us conserve our present and our future. And I thank you for all your support, and I thank you for everybody coming in here tonight.
Thank you.
Hockey and ice skating are here to stay.
Thank you, Mr. Evans.
Mr. Evans,
Yes, sir.
can you speak to in any way the interest of the King's organization, or based on your what you've heard tonight with the issues, is that something of concern, or are you still?
There's always things of concern, you know, and I think if we're standing still, we're going backwards. I mean, regardless of what we look at today, 20 years from now, there's going to be other issues that we're going to have to deal with, whether it be an ice rink or anything else that's going on in society. I've been involved in a little bit in putting an ice rink together from the grassroots, being the one down where the Kings are training right now. Yeah, you have some issues you got to get rid of, but regardless, through with the community, you've got to deal with those issues regardless. So even if you deal with that moving forward, you put a state of facility, bring all the adjustments and everything that you put to it, I envision a multi-sheet surface going on there. I mean, I could see this game growing so much here. I know the support is out there, and I know from the standpoint of the Los Angeles Kings, they've got vested interest. What they've done here for the last 45 years would be for naught if we sit there and we start taking ice rinks away. When you watch the rinks that have come up, the rink in El Segundo right now, the rink in Valencia, Artesia, these are all new rinks. There's not enough ice out there. There's not enough ice. So to sit there and shut the door on these young kids and say you can't skate, put the adults, okay, go do something else, it would be a shame. I mean, I think the Los Angeles Kings, given any opportunity, they would support this wholeheartedly to keep this ice rink up and going, and again, grow it as we move forward.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Cindy, Jeff, and Lauren Bernstein.
Yes.
Absolutely. Finally, we got one.
There seem to be so many.
I am speaking this evening.
Come forward.
Please pull the microphone so that we can all hear you.
At the rink, where I know I am safe and cared for, but you have heard this and more from many others. I would like to point out again that I am a non-resident of Culver City. I calculate over the years that I have been skating. I have made over 700 trips to your city that I would not have otherwise made, and I know that this is a fraction of the number of trips that other parents have made. While I am on the ice, it is not at all unusual for my mom to run errands and shop in your city. We support the local business surrounding the rink, the pet store, the coffee shops, the restaurants, markets, and more. I know that my family is not the only who does this. If you want to serve the people of Culver City, isn't it better to have a skating rink that brings so many people from surrounding areas than an exclusive fitness facility that serves only a handful of members? There are other rock climbing fitness and yoga studios much closer to my home. There is not another ice rink anywhere near my home. Please, maintain the ice rink and give figure skaters, hockey players, and other skaters a fun place to skate and build skills, friendships, and memories. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll call Gann Matsuda, followed by Mike Snow.
That's 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Thank you.
Mayor Cooper, ladies and gentlemen of the council, my name is Gann Matsuda. I'm a 46-year resident of Culver City. I grew up here. Part of Culver City schools, and I remember skating at that rink on weekends and watching the Los Angeles Kings, watching Darrell Evans practice on many Saturdays. But I'm not here for the sentimental reasons. As Darrell mentioned, as young lady mentioned, there's a great opportunity here for this city. I've seen this city miss out on so many opportunities. Downtown Culver City was as great a success as it is now. It also represents a tremendous failure on for all of us, in that it took so long for us to get any nightlife, places to eat, so we didn't have to go out of town to find a good restaurant. It's so wonderful to have that now. If we don't bring a state-of-the-art rink with at least 2 sheets of ice to that space, it's going to be another mistake for this city. And I say that because if you look at youth hockey alone, and the Kings wouldn't be here if not for this. If you've ever been to a hockey tournament, whether it's the Toyota Sports Center or any of the other rinks in Southern California, you're talking a huge amount of people there, for hours and hours. And as this young lady mentioned, we're talking about economic development, people shopping at our stores, people patronizing our restaurants, our gas stations, you name it. Youth hockey has been a missed opportunity in Culver City for decades, primarily because of the condition of that rink. But and again, we're premature, obviously, because there's been no application for a rezone. But if there's some way that we can bring a state-of-the-art ice rink to Culver City, we're really going to benefit from that, and not just the kids and families who skate there. Our whole city is going to benefit. Let's not make another big mistake. Let's do the right thing. And a multi-sheet, state-of-the-art ice rink is what this city needs in that space. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mike Snow, followed by Paul Rockness.
Good evening, Bailey, as well, wherever you are. My point is this, you have to ask yourself what actually constitutes a place, a city. I think that one of the things that defines Culver City is Culver City Ice Rink. As kind of quirky as it is, frankly, I would settle for a single sheet. I would settle for it staying open exactly as it is, if that's enabled us to still have a rink. The thing about this Planet Granite thing is they're serving a demographic that essentially does not exist to a significant extent within this city. They are going to pull from, Playa Vista, they'll do Santa Monica, they'll do downtown. But the fact of the matter is, the people who live here and who live close to here, they want an ice rink. They have an ice rink, right?
Please hold your applause so we can hear the speaker. Thank you.
We're not going to start doing yoga. At least I'm not. I mean, I think, the Planet Granite people, I'm sure they're lovely people. I'm sure, they're kind to their moms, they're kind to animals, they probably don't even eat animals, some of them. But the fact of the matter is that when we have an ice rink that is serving a community, that there is already a really good opportunity for an alternative tenant to move in there to still run it as an ice rink, they are essentially acting in a predatory manner. I think this is a public relations disaster for this organization, and I hope that we will let their other users in their other locations know what it is that they're up to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Paul Rockness, followed by Kevin Clouden.
For giving me the opportunity to speak. I'm one of those parents who spend time and money down here because of the ice rink, but I don't live in Culver City. I live in Westwood. I think it's a wonderful thing that you're permitting the children, the ones that want to speak, but I think the greatest favor you could do for the kids who are here, the kids who are not here, and the future kids would be do whatever it takes to enable an ice rink to stay there. I don't think, although I agree with everything Mr. Evans said, I don't think it's about nostalgia. There are thousands of kids who are not going to grow up to be professional hockey players. There are thousands of kids who are not going to grow up to be Olympic ice skaters, though some of them may have those dreams. But every kid who gets on that rink and stays there learns very quickly the most important lesson, which is that you can fall down and you can get up again and you proceed. And that's what my kids have learned. I think that's what future generations are going to learn. I think if you had a rock climbing facility and it were to close because of a dispute over a lease, you would not have a turnout like this. And you would not have an uproar like this. The ice ring has been here. The ice skaters are here to stay. It's not a fad, and it provides a tremendous benefit not only to your city, but to the people who live elsewhere in Los Angeles County. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Kevin Clouden, followed by Rachael Flatt.
Greetings again. I seem to be making a habit of this, but my goal is each time to bring up a different piece of information. In this case, I just read recently an interview with the owner of the property, Mr. Karagosian, where he described the ice rink as being a 50-year albatross around his neck. While I find it amusing that someone in Fresno would compare himself to the ancient mariner, I still believe that it raises a valid point, which is that one element we've consistently dismissed because under normal circumstances the city doesn't have the money is eminent domain. The reason I raise this right now is because one of the things I've spent a great deal of time on and talking with people about, knowing a number of people who worked on this, is public-private partnerships. Having the Kings here raised an issue, which is that under the eminent domain law in California, which still applies with or without redevelopment, the issue is there the money to acquire the property at a fair market value? If we made an assumption, even counting the mitigation costs, even counting everything else, that the fair market value was about $9 million, given a certain amount of math, I figured make it simple. With a 15-year lease, at $50,000 a month for the rent, that would be $600,000 per year. That would work out to $9 million. If, say, you had an operator, such as the Kings, who was willing to engage in a public-private partnership and forward the money or agree to some sort of financing vehicle in exchange for foregoing the rent. In other words, they give you the money and that's the rent for the next 15 years. The city would have the money to make that acquisition. It would be legal. It would be under the purview of eminent domain. It would actually apply. It is not a step that I would say that you enter into lightly, but it is one that you need to be aware of. Public-private partnerships have been something that have been successfully executed in Long Beach. They've been executed in San Francisco. They have repeatedly been executed in New York for a variety of different reasons. Culver City is a small city. It is not something that you should enter into lightly, but it is an option. Thank you.
Thank you.
Rachael Flatt, followed by Therese Steinloff and Aletta Engelbrecht.
Good evening, Mayor Cooper and City Council. May I read a statement from 2010 Olympian Rachael Flatt, who stopped midterms at Stanford today to send us a statement?
Absolutely. You've got 2 minutes.
Thank you. I've had the privilege of stepping onto the ice at Culver Ice Arena since about the age 5. I am now 21 years old and have been so fortunate to have skated in ice rinks and coliseums all across the United States and the world. My first competitive days at the Town Center Ice Rink in La Jolla, California, to my first local Southern California competition at the Interclub event at Culver City Ice Rink when I was 6 years old. To my first international event in Slovenia, then eventually onto the biggest stage in the world in Vancouver, Canada at the 2010 Olympic Games. But between those first few steps on the ice and those glorious moments in Vancouver 4 years ago, there have been hours and hours of training at rinks all over the U.S. and the world, competitions in small and local community ice rinks, and rinks in glamorous locations like Tokyo, Japan, or Nice, France. But it is those days in the local community rinks that provide the fundamental building blocks for achievement in the sport that I have chosen to pursue over the years. Without the local rinks that I have trained for the last 17 to 18 years, I would not have been able to achieve what I have in my sport. To paraphrase Hillary Clinton, it takes a village to raise a skater. I truly believe this. It takes the support from local coaches, local judges, local skating clubs, parents, friends, and schools to help each skater achieve their own personal level of success, no matter if it is learning the axel or being selected to travel for the local hockey team or making the biggest stage of all for some, the NHL, for others, the Olympics. It isn't just about achievements as an athlete that I can reflect upon, but it is the structure and the discipline that skating has provided in my life. I have learned skills that far supersede learning, like a layback spin or a triple-triple. And
Thank you.
It is the work ethic and perseverance and patience that I learned. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Teresa Steinloff and Aletta Engelbrecht, followed by Irina Costello.
Actually, it's Alita, my sister. Okay, I spoke last month, or 2 weeks ago, and we were the daughters of the gentleman who designed the ice rink. And after the last meeting, I went to the Building and Safety Department over at the Culver City Hall and asked if there were any plans still existent for the ice rink, and I came up with only 3 sheets. And there's one that's from our dad and two that are from the remodel that happened, I guess, around 1983. What I was hoping for was a sheet showing the silhouettes that our dad had in mind when he designed the building. There were going to be large cutouts, metal cutouts with light reflecting them on the front in each of the panels on the front of the building, which would have done a lot to push it toward a cultural landmark. Unfortunately, now they're just the stencils, but it would have been like really special. Even so, our dad was very passionate about architecture, even as much as these young people are about skating, and it was never just a job for him. And any job that he did, one of the councilmen last time said something about tearing it down and building a state-of-the-art. At the time our dad designed it, it was state-of-the-art. And yes, there are things that do go wrong over the years with machinery and stuff that needs to be upgraded. But the actual building, I can assure you, if you look at even the details on this one page that I have, he put sheets and sheets of specifications with every job that he did, and not only that, he would go out and inspect the jobs to be sure that they were putting in the right materials. And that was, like I said, one of his passions. And I think in closing that I'm old enough now to have seen so much of not only Culver City, but West LA and Los Angeles tear down these important buildings that are really part of our culture and our heritage. And I think we should value like what we have, not only just for the building itself, as well as for all the people that have shared all the memories in there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Irina Costello, followed by Sammy Takahashi. Irina Costello. Next up is Sammy Takahashi, followed by Mindy Page.
Hi, my name is Sammy Takahashi. Culver Ice Arena has been my home for 22 years. I have spent every day there since I was in my mom's belly. It breaks my heart that the rink is closed down. Hopefully you can understand that by not rezoning the land, you can help us get our rink back. So many people will love you guys if you save our rink. On Sunday, February 2nd, we spent our last night on our home ice. I didn't want to get off the ice. I didn't want to look at the clock all night because I didn't want to see the session end. When I heard the guy announce that the session was over, I broke down crying and not wanting to get off the ice. I just wanted to wake up from a bad dream. But it wasn't a bad dream, it was happening. Everyone was getting off the ice but me and a few girls, Alexa, Allie, and Cassie. We were in a group hug, crying our eyes out, not getting off the ice. Our hearts were broken and we felt like our whole world just came crashing down. Most of us haven't been able to see each other because we all have different schedules, or we are skating on a different rink. We all miss our home ice. We all miss 4545 Sepulveda Boulevard. I hate driving down and seeing the rink and not being able to go in and skate. So please help us save our rink. We are Culver City and Culver City needs our rink. Please don't rezone the land so Planet Granite can come in and take our rink away. It'll mean the world to all of us if you keep our rink a rink. Please let us come home so we can be a happy family again.
Thank you.
Mindy Page, followed by Shannon Takahashi.
I used to spend 6 days a week in Culver City. I did all of my errands there. Since last Sunday, I haven't been to Culver City once. As I said last time, I have been a prosecutor for 15 years, and I explained why the Culver Ice Rink is so valuable to the community. Today, I have 3 letters. The first letter is from on Superior Court stationery from Judge Irma Brown. My dear members of the council, my name is Irma J. Brown. I have been a judge in Los Angeles County for over 30 years, and for the last 11 years, I have been the presiding judge in Inglewood Juvenile Court. My jurisdiction includes all juvenile offenses occurring within Culver City. My position has afforded me the opportunity to see literally thousands of youth each year come through my doors who have encountered problems involving the juvenile system. I can say unequivocally that minors with a place to go or who have an activity that they are committed to are the kids who avoid trouble or find a way to avoid trouble, making future mistakes. For over 50 years, the Culver Ice Arena has served as such a place not only to residents of Culver City, but to the greater Los Angeles community as well. The thought of this rink no longer being part of our community saddens me greatly and is of major concern to the well-being of so many young people and their families. It is another sign of devaluing what is important to the healthy and happy upbringing of our youth. Allowing the rink to close sacrifices the multiple and significant benefits to an entire community. I hope that the leadership of our local community is able to demonstrate in a meaningful way to its constituents that there is a genuine concern about our youth and that they are taking an active role in its partnership with parents who look for a safe, healthy environment for our children. Allowing the Culver City Ice Rink to close illustrates to our youth that they are not a vital and critical priority. I assure you that nothing leads to more juvenile delinquency than minors without a place to go. Please carefully consider the long-range impact on our children and our community if the arena is allowed to close.
Thank you. The other 2 letters you can fill out if somebody else wants to read those other speaker cards. There will be a lot of them in on the other 2 letters if you want to fill those out.